So again, we have a practice guide in hand. We're going to be going through this 5-day review. You can see it up here on the board. We're going to do 2 problems pretty much each day. Tomorrow I'm going to try to do 3 problems just because the problems we do tomorrow are, I think, easier than the ones we do today, so we can do more of them. I'm not doing a lot. I'm trying to keep it really basic. The reason why is I want you to be able to ask questions. Maybe there's something you want to see. Maybe there's a different diagram you'd like to see, and I'll make up an example for you. I want to give you time to ask questions, to comprehend what we're discussing, to make sure that you know every ins and outs and how to do every problem. I don't want to overpack the day so that you're just super confused by the time we're done. We cover 20 problems, you're I don't even know how to do one of the problems, let alone 20 of them. So I'm just keeping it real basic, 1 or 2 questions each day. So now remember, when we take semester test, which is on January 5th, that's a Tuesday, you'll take it in class unless you're unfortunate to take it on Zoom. Then you'll take it on Zoom, and I'll just do it like I normally do. Just make sure that you are prepared to take that thing, right? You have to take it in one class period that you are ready to go, right? You have to be super proficient, right? You have to be able to cruise through problems and not take 30 minutes for one problem. You have to know what you're doing. So keep that in mind, because I will not be available Tuesday after school. You won't be able to finish it. We leave for a basketball game at 2 o'clock. So I won't be here. So you have to finish it in class. So keep that in mind. So it's a 1-day test. It's not a 2-day. So get that through. As we get going, I'm going to post these review days on my website as normal, as I always do. I'm gonna have the picture-in-picture will be a little bit different on this one. I know that you need to see me. Sometimes I talk about something or I say something, but the picture-in-picture will be a little bit different. I'm going to make the box a little bit smaller. You'll still hear me, but you won't be able to see me as well. The reason why is I want the iPad to be the main focus and not just me in the corner, because sometimes I cover up the work sometimes. I'll still take screenshots of everything we do. So if you can't see the work on the video, you can at least go and check out the pictures that I put on my website and see all the work we've done on the web on the slide. Does that make sense? Because it won't have my picture-in-picture face on there. So I try to keep it as easy as possible for you. Semester test is, I think it's 11 questions. It's exactly what you have in front of you. I'm going to flip through these questions up here just so Alexis can see the questions that are in front of her. I believe, Alexis, you got an email today. Same with everybody. Everyone received an email with the pictures of every problem and the document in case you lose this and you can redo it on your own. Now, this is due on Monday. You will turn it in Monday on January 4th. Does that make sense? You'll turn this in. I know that you're well, Ward, the test is the next day. I want to study it. You had 2 weeks to study it. You don't need 1 more day. So if you need to, make a copy for yourself. I don't know, or watch the videos we do. It shouldn't be, 1 more day shouldn't make the difference after you've had it for 2 weeks in your hand. Okay? So I always get that. It's Ward, I want to study 1 more day. You don't need it. So make a copy if it's that important to you. It looks similar to the semester test. It's not the exact semester test. I think I sent out some emails to parents kind of warning you that these are not the exact problems. Don't memorize these questions. They're going to look like it. So it's just to give you an idea of what you can prepare for, so you're not overwhelmed. You know exactly what I'm going to ask for, what the questions will entail, that type of thing. It's to get you mentally prepared. I have some people that complain about this. I don't know why you complain when I'm showing you the layout and what to do. I know it's not the exact problem, but you're lucky I'm even reviewing it. Some professors don't even do that. So, all right. But yeah, let's kind of walk through. You can see the questions we're going to do. So if you know you're going to be gone a certain day this week or next week, maybe you're going to be gone Wednesday, you know what problem we're going to be doing, the last 2. So I'm trying to kind of warn you what questions we're going to be covering. The units we covered were Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and Chapter 3, which is Unit 1, 2, 3, and 4. I split Chapter 2 into 2 parts. There was the reasoning part with there was sequences and there was reasoning like truth tables, and then there was the other side of Chapter 2, which was algebra stuff, which was solving systems and solving equations and all that good stuff. So there's a lot of stuff in there. So that chapter was pretty big. So we'll get to that. That'll be in the later parts. Is there any questions before we begin today? I'll give you time. And don't be afraid. This is the time to ask questions. Like if there's a question that I'm going through that you're like, wow, I have no idea what you're doing there. That's the perfect question. Like, hey, can you do another example of that? Can you do a different one? I don't understand that part of what you just did. So those are the types of questions, because I want you to be more than prepared when you walk in semester test day that you think it's super easy. That's what I'm hoping for when you get there. So that way it just boosts your grade even further. Okay, I believe we have homework due tonight. We had homework due yesterday. That was the true-false stuff, but the homework assignment that's due tonight was the midpoint homework, where you had to like set things equal to each other or add two parts and set equal to the third. That's due tonight. It's on Google Classroom. I think it's like 4 problems on a Google form. If you are still confused, you can go back and watch the videos from yesterday to do that. Maybe at the end of class you have questions on that. We can do that too. You will have plenty of time. We have 30 minutes to go through 2 questions, so we have some time today. So, okay, does it make sense what we're doing? I'm trying to keep it as easy as possible for you. All right, let's jump right in. So, this is the first one. Looks okay. Maybe I can make that a little bit bigger for you guys. I wonder if I can zoom in on that. Yeah, not bad. Okay, we'll go with it. Okay, so what you're looking at here, this is a plane. You can kind of see it there. It's in yellow. In fact, I'm going to kind of highlight that for you. So we have this yellow plane right here. On your piece of paper, sorry, got a little faded. Yellow is probably a really bad color to print on a black and white printer. Doesn't show up really well. So there is a plane there. Can anyone tell me the name of that plane?
Plane B.
Plane B, that's a good one. You could call it plane B. Or you could call it plane XYWR. You can give it all the letters that you see up there that are on the plane itself. What can you tell me about point Z? Yeah, it's not on the plane. Think of line L there poking through the paper like that, where it's kind of poking through, if you need to see that. So Z is like way below the plane. It's like below it on a different level. So line L is not on the plane. So on test day, I'll always have the pictures on the marker board, and I'll kind of highlight those little things to you. You should pay attention when we go through the directions on semester test day, just so you're aware of what you're looking at. Okay, I think is the picture look okay? It's not the greatest. Probably what I'll do before I print the semester test on Tuesday, I'm gonna get brand new ink cartridges. So this thing's gonna be super dark. So I'll go buy some new ink right before I print semester test, so you have there won't be any blurriness to it, like this one kind of looks blurry. Okay, but yeah, so let's kind of walk through this here. So we're going to identify the following problems. The big thing I'm checking for on this question number 1 is, can you name objects correctly? Like lines, planes, points. Do you know how to write them down? Do you know how many letters you're supposed to use? What symbols you're supposed to use? That type of stuff. So I'm really particular. So you got to write it down correctly. This is the stuff we did at the beginning of the year. We've kind of reviewed it a little bit throughout this last couple of units. I've tried my best to review lines and planes and stuff so you're not completely lost at this stuff again. It's been a while. Okay, so can you name a line that is, or the lines, plural. In fact, I'm going to highlight that. Lines, plural. They say 2. Lines that are on plane B. Give me one of them.
Line L and N.
Okay, line M and line N. Those are the 2 that I just heard. Line M and line N. M and N. That's good. I like that. You can name them that because it's the cursive letter, right? You can give it the cursive letter. Now, if you chose not to give it a cursive letter, like line M or line N, what was another way we could write those? What's another way I could write line like M here? There's another way I can write that one.
XR.
XR.
With a line.
Yeah, so line M could be written as XR with the little arrows above it. You can write it that way. Or you could call it YR for all I care. or XY. You have a couple different options for that line. So instead of calling, notice I didn't put the word line in front of it. When you give it the 2-letter system, when you actually pick the points, you have to put the arrows above it. And you have to only use 2 letters. Don't give me 3. And then the other one, what's the name for line N?
WY.
WY.
With the points at the top of it.
Yeah, little arrows. So that could have been a different way to write those. Same lines, M and N. Okay, do we feel comfortable with writing lines? The big thing that I know I'm going to catch people on, so at least one person is going to do it. They're going to write 3 letters down, and I'm going to have to count it wrong. Or they're going to put the word line in front of the 2 letters, and then I have to count it wrong. So it's, if you do the 2-letter system, you have to put arrows. So make sure of that. Okay, that's good. What is the line that is not on plane B?
Line L.
Line L. Yeah. Line L. Another way to write line L. That was good. Thank you.
RZ.
RZ. Okay. Yeah. So line R or line L could be written as RZ. Could be written like this instead. You don't have to put both. You just have to put one or the other, whatever one you're comfortable with. So if you want to write RZ, that's fine. It's not on the plane because it's poking through it, so it's not contained on it. It's not completely drawn on the plane. It poked through it, that doesn't count. Okay, are we good on the top 2? Thank you for the volunteers. That's good. Okay. Can we name some lines now? So we're going to go back to it. Can we name some lines, plural, mind you, plural, not singular, plural, that contain the point R?
Line L.
Line L, okay.
Line N.
Line L and line N. M, thank you. M, yeah. M and L. So I'm gonna do a little bit of erasing here. Take, ooh. Did not mean to do that. Apologies. Just click the power button. So yeah, so M and L are the ones that cross at R. So these, so if it has R, it's gonna be going through R. So M and L are good. Now, if you want to get the 2-letter system, RZ, YR, what you're going to call it, XR, I don't know, XY, and it works. Okay. Questions up to this point? Okay. What are the intersections of M and N? M and
Y.
Point Y. And you have to write the word point and Y after it. This is the point that M and N cross. It's a single dot. Because think back to the postulate we did. The postulate 3.10 talked about when 2 lines intersect, they form a single point. So, full circle. All right, and then the last one. Can we name another line for line N? Line N, please. Yeah, WY with the little arrows. Perfect. WY with little arrows. We even talked about that one earlier. Nice. That's what I'm checking for. Number 1, this first problem on your semester test should be super easy. Like, I'm talking stupidly easy. Just because if you know what you're naming, that's all it is. I just want to check. Do you know how to name objects? Do you know how to look at a picture and describe something to me? Okay? Should be pretty basic. I'm just going to pick a problem right out of the book. I'm not going to make up a new one. I'm not going to draw something. I'm not going to pull something from somewhere else. I'm pulling it right out of your textbook. So it'll be something you've probably seen, something we've done homework on. That's usually how my semester tests work. I don't make up new problems. I usually use problems we've done for homework. So you've actually seen this problem before. You didn't realize it was on a practice test for chapter 1. So if you go back, if let's say you still have your practice tests, you'll probably see it's right on there. So, okay. Any questions with number 1? Something that you're not comfortable with? You know, planes or lines or points? Something that you'd like to see? Because I can write a bunch of stuff up here if you need to. Okay. Yeah, if you have maybe another question later, maybe you think about it later, just ask away. I'll drop a new one, I'll go to another slide, we'll drop a new picture, and we can answer the question you have. Somebody's getting called to the office. Mr. Warrior. Hey. I do. Yep. Oh, okay. Yep. Right. Yep. Bye. Alright, they're gonna need you in the office. Your brother is not feeling well, so you might have to take him home, so sorry. Okay. Alright, we're gonna go to number 2? Okay. So, alright, let's move to number 2 here. Some of you might need to help out Miss Smith later. Maybe in study hall, help her out if you have her in class. Alright, this is number 2. This is our second problem. You're gonna have to find distance on a coordinate plane. It'll be a coordinate plane problem. I'm going to let you know that. It's going to be one of these. You will need a calculator. Now, obviously, I have a select few in this room. I strongly recommend you have your own. Does anyone need to borrow a calculator just for today, just for the purposes of doing this problem? Okay? All right. So, here you go. I have more, so now I'll hand these back. Those back over there. Okay, does anyone else need one? I got more. Just for today's purposes.
I need one.
Okay, yeah, so let me hand you one.
Oh. I asked first, buddy. She's a tongue.
Anyone else need one?
Yeah.
Just for that. Okay, so again, you'll want to have a calculator, something you know how to use for test day. So don't bring in something like you suddenly bring your brother or sister's like $100 calculator and you're like, I don't even know how to use this thing. Then why bring it? I'm not going to tell you how to use it during a semester test. So bring something you are comfortable with, something that has the buttons you need, something that has scientific keys on it. Okay? All right. So to find distance on a coordinate plane, we have a simple formula. Now, the formula is something you will have to know. Yes, you have to know it. Because when you look around this room, this is what the room's going to look like. It's going to look blank walls. So you're going to have to know how to do the formula here. Ms. Smith will have somebody maybe during study hall today help you out. Okay? All right. All right, so here's the formula that you're going to want to know. Okay, it's a big square root. I'll show you how to type this in the calculator here in a minute. In fact, I might put my calculator up on the board so you can see this here. But again, how this works, for the square root key, you're going to be subtracting your two x's, the two x coordinates, and then you're going to put that to the power of 2. So whatever the difference between the x numbers, you're going to square it. So it's to the power of 2. And then you're going to add this to the difference in the y numbers. So you're going to subtract your y digits. And then you're going to square that. And this is the distance formula we had back in Chapter 1. This is something we did in Chapter 1 test. So this is actually the example from the practice guide we did. So it's been a while. So again, I will show you how to type this in on a calculator. In fact, I might do it for the types of calculators you guys have. I'm not going to use my $100 calculator. It would be pointless showing you how to do it on that one because you don't have the same buttons as me. All right, so but before we do that, let's just talk about how to write these down. So when we look at these two coordinates, obviously we have R and S. What are the x numbers?
-4 and 3.
Yeah. It's the -4 and the 3. You're absolutely right. It's the ones in the front, right? They're alphabetical order. That's why they're called ordered pairs. X, Y, alphabetical order, X, Y, Z, right? So the X's are the front numbers. So those are the numbers I'm going to subtract, whatever they are. I don't care if they're positive or negative. You're going to subtract them from each other. So I'm taking the -4 and I'm subtracting the 3. Or you could take the 3 and subtract the -4. I don't really care. All right, and obviously the y numbers are the back two numbers. So I'll highlight those in yellow. These are the y numbers, the back digits. And it doesn't matter the order you subtract them. It'll be the same number anyway. That's the beauty of doing this. So if I subtract those numbers, that ends up being the 2, and I'm going to subtract the -1. And I'm going to square that as well. Okay, now, when we do this type of math on your calculator, -4 minus 3, what do we get? -4, and we're going to subtract 3 more. -7. All right. And then 2 minus a -1. What happens to a minus and negative?
Positive.
Turns positive, right? Turns plus. The two negative signs cancel each other out. And so this ends up being a 3 squared. Now this is where you can either use common sense, where you just think about it, or you just type it in your calculator. But you should use the parentheses if you're going to type it in the calculator. -7 times itself. That's what a square means. -7 times -7. What happens when you take a -7 times -7?
40.
Turns positive, and it turns out to be a 49. You're absolutely right. It turns positive. If you type that wrong in your calculator, it will tell you negative. It's supposed to be positive. So keep that in mind. And what about 3 times 3? 9. So it's always the number times itself. That's what a little power 2 means. You take it times itself. There's 2 of those numbers being multiplied together. That's how it works. You add these 2 together, and we're getting the square root of what, 58?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I do want you to type this in to give me the decimal. I would like 4 decimal places. 4. I think I have it on the semester test. I even say, give me the exact answer, which is that, square root of 58, and give me the answer in terms of decimals. 4 decimal places. I think it's explicitly written on your practice guide. So now, I'm going to show you my calculator, show you how to type it in. I think I have the technology. I think I can show this. Okay. Okay, that's going to be a little weird and a little jarring. Go with it. All right, here we go. We're just going to cheat the system a little bit. All right. Can you guys see that just fine? Not too bad. Okay, I didn't know if this was going to work. Okay, how you type in the square root of 58. So on my calculator, the square button is right there. It's that little blue thing right there. So in fact, where's my pencil at? It is right there. That's the little square root that I want. Not the one with the little X on it. I want the little normal square root. Now to get this little blue thing here, this little blue square root key, I have to hit the second key first. So I always call it the shift key. So I have to hit second. You can see that it's actually put second, and then I'm going to hit this little square root key. So there, I'm going to hit the little square root. So you can actually see it's putting a square root on my calculator. Then I'm going to just type in 58. So 58, and hit enter. Boom, there's my answer. 7.61. Now again, I'll walk through it one more time just so you can see it. So to get the square root on your calculator, I'm going to have to hit the little second key, right? Then I'm going to hit my little square root button, which is that key for me. So you can see it's on the screen, and then I type in 58. All right. Questions on how to do square roots? Now, every calculator I know is different. Some calculators, you just have a square root button. You don't have to hit second or anything. You just type the square root key, and then you type in 58 and you hit enter. Like, you don't even have to do any of this weird, like, hitting a second key. Is there anyone that needs help figuring it out on their calculator? Okay, I'll walk back there in a second. Okay, yep. Yeah, well, you guys have the same calculator. Okay, actually,
I changed the mode, but like mine won't change to the right one.
is it telling you just like an exact answer?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll fix that here in a second. Yeah, so okay, so we should be getting what 7.61. I'm gonna go write this on the iPad here, and then I'm gonna come and we're gonna look at your calculators here. Okay, all right, so 7.6157. So it's about 4 decimal places. 5 if I go even further. Okay, does that make sense? Now the reason I want 4 or 5 decimal places, so you cannot possibly just guess. There's no way you're guessing. You have to go 4, so you have to be super exact. So you have to know how to use this. That's why I'm doing it. So you have to know. You have to show me without a doubt you understand how to use the technology in front of you.
Are you saying that people have actually guessed the right answer on?
Yes, on a square root. Yes, they can get within a decimal place. I can guess 1 decimal place at least. So, but I'm going 4, so you can't. So you have to use the technology. So you have to just demonstrate the precision of using mathematical tools. That's one of our standards. Sorry. All right. Now I need to get to these other square roots. Can I borrow your calculator? Because this will help you out there, Vanessa, as well. I'm just going to put it up on the screen if you don't mind. Okay. All right. Ooh, you got it. You broke your screen, didn't you?
Yeah, that's my second one.
Oh no! All right. Yeah, this will work. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Let's pop it up here. This is good for everybody to see. So we have different calculators. These are really nice calculators, by the way. These TI 30s. These can do some serious math. All right, so for their little square root key, you can see it's right there. It's almost the same spot as mine, but I'm going to show you what happens when they type theirs in. So I have to hit the little second key. Then I'm going to hit the little square root key. So you can see it has a square root. Can you guys see that just fine? You want to hit the lights in the back there? Oh, yeah. All right.
That works better.
All right, much better. All right, so then I'm going to type in the 58. And here's the issue that they're having. It just says square root of 58. Right? It doesn't tell them the decimal. Okay, so for their calculator, you have to change a setting on the calculator itself. Now the setting that we're going to go, I'm going to go into mode here. I think it's mode. Is there any other options? Nope. All right, I'm going to go into mode, so I'm going to hit this little mode key. And their calculator has this thing down here. You can hardly see it. It's right there. It's this bottom line. It says math print. This calculator is super special. It can do things that my $150 calculator can't even do. It can do square roots and breaking down square roots and the exact answers. It's called math printing. The newer calculators can do that. It's really nice. I'm just going to change it to this first category, which is called classic, and hit enter. So it's highlighting classic, not math print. Sorry. I think, Vanessa, you can probably see classic a little bit better. You probably don't have broken pixels on your screen. And then I'm going to exit out of this. So I'm going to hit quit. So shift quit. And then I'm going to go type in that same square root key. So how you hit quit, you hit second and quit right at the top. All right. Did that work? Did you get out? Okay, second quit. All right, so then we're going to go into second, hit the little square root key again. So that's the little square key, type in my 58, and voila, we got a decimal. All right. That work out for you, Vanessa? Yep. Yeah. All right. Now, the thing is for your girls' calculator, it will constantly put it back into math print when you turn it off. So you'll have to go change that mode when you start up. So. Okay, questions with anything, especially like Alexis at home, or any question in particular about this that you'd like to see? Because I can do another one. We can do anything you guys need just to make sure you're well aware of how to do this stuff. Now that formula is something you're going to need to know. It will not be on the board anywhere in here. So, all right. Well, I'm going to stop the recording there. Just so you have it.